Welcome back to Lostboys Cypher Circle, everybody. This is the place where we bring artists of all kinds, whether they be poets, painters, musicians, authors, or we've yet to have a comedian, but we'd love to have one on. Any and all artists of all kinds are more than welcome to come on the show and share and talk about their pieces and just talk about life and have an open conversation and open dialogue. I like to say that this is a safe place. It's like our therapy session, but it's a safe place for artists to come be themselves, share their inner selves without judgment, without ridicule, without any of that. So if you are an artist and you'd like to come on the show, please message me at Dylan Lawler or my man Brendan on Facebook. I want to start giving you guys that right off the bat here. Now, before we get into the show, we have a quick trigger warning. This is something I like to do simply because, like I said, it is a therapy session for us. It is a way for artists to let out their inner demons, let out whatever it is they have going on in here out onto the page and out onto the microphone. And in doing that, sometimes some of the topics we talk about can be triggering. Now, it's not to say that everything we talk about here is gruesome in some way or necessarily triggering, but you never know what is going to be triggering from one person to the other from day to day, right? Because everybody's experiences are different. We've all had our own brands and varieties of trauma. We just ask that everybody be mindful of that, keep their words kind with one another, even if they don't necessarily agree with someone's opinion. And if anyone is triggered by anything at all, feel free to click out at any time and come back later. And that goes for artists and audience members. But with that being said, that is my little spiel, and I can get in the show. What's up, man?
How you doing, bub?
I'm all right. I finally ordered that computer I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So that should be here coming within the next week or so as of recording. This, if all goes to plan, this should be the last episode recorded on this laptop. And this laptop has been the device of Lostboys Cypher Circle for as long as it's been a thing. So I am getting another Windows HP device. So should run you guys shouldn't notice a difference at all, right? It might look clearer, it might sound better, but then again, the sound really isn't going to improve that much because the sound comes from this, right? The sound is my microphone, which eventually I'll get a better one of those as well. But I'm very excited for this computer, not only because it's going to be a lot easier to run the show, a lot smoother, not just running the show, editing it as well, but also something I really want to get back into is, and anyone who knows has been following me and my channel since possibly before I started the show, or maybe you've gone back since you found us and saw some of my older stuff. But if you look further down on this YouTube channel, you'll see that I used to put out singles, little pieces. They were little acapella spoken word raps, somewhere between spoken word and an acapella rap. I used to record those, do a little artwork, and put those out weekly. And as the show kicked off, I fell off that. It was partly to do with the amount of work that I had to do as far as the show and whatnot. But also, man, this computer's just so fucking slow. It's really not meant for that kind of thing. It's really not meant for making music. It's, for those of you who know what this means, it's got 4 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of space. My phone has 128 gigabytes of space and 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Not to mention it's also 9 years old.
I got this from my mom. My mom passed away in 2020. I believe she got it for me maybe 2017, 2018. Because one, it's a gift from my mom, and two, it got me through so goddamn much. And it is the building block of what I built my show on. But it'll be nice to have a new device that is way faster at editing, way easier to make videos, way easier to make songs, way easier to do all of that shit. And yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's called an HP Victus, and it has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of space. So I'm hoping that'll be good. Yeah. But that's what I've been, besides work, what you been up to?
I've been putting out a bunch of applications, waiting to hear back from a couple, so hopefully that'll come in here shortly. But other than that, I've been busting ass on that porch, on my mom's porch or whatever. That's coming along like super nice. I don't necessarily want to say almost done because it's still got a little bit of work to go, but it's getting there. Definitely getting there. I also, today, I actually just went and registered my motorcycle, so my bike's all legal now. So that makes me happy.
Hell yeah, dude.
Writing a little bit, kind of, sort of, but aside from that, not really a whole lot. Just kind of spending time with the family and whatnot.
Something I wanted to address a little bit is I haven't been writing a whole lot lately, and it may be partly for lack of time, like, as I said, trying to balance work and family and editing and all that stuff. Because as you can see, especially compared to past seasons of Lost Boys, this season has been a lot more focused on putting out the clips and putting out extra content like what's popping and making sure that I advertise it as much as possible. And I've been trying to focus and dial down on that as much as I possibly can, more than I have in past seasons. But as far as writing, I watched this video the other day on YouTube, and it was actually we talked about an artist last week on What's Poppin' called Nick D. He puts out rap music. He also has a comedy / just shit chatting type podcast called The Freddy Show. But he also, on his personal channel, puts out instructional, how-to, and just advice videos for aspiring artists and aspiring content creators. And one of the things that he recommended is, as artists, we tend to be multifaceted, multi-talented, and we try to focus our energies on too many different things. And in doing so, we spread ourselves too thin. So I think I'm going to try to dial in on recording and posting the stuff I've already written, as well as continuing my consistency with the show and everything I'm doing there. And just take a little step back. Don't get me wrong. I have ideas. I've been jotting ideas down. I have paragraphs written that I need to go through and whatnot. I'm still writing, but I think I'm less so making that my main focus artistically and really just trying to dial in. I guess I'll just say it now. It's not like a official announcement or anything, but I have, for lack of a better word, a mixtape that I'm working on. I'm working on a poetry book and a mixtape, and right now what I am working on is figuring out which poems versus which raps and or spoken words, whatever that I want in each project, which ones fit best, and just compiling them into a good format, a good sizable chunk of stuff to listen to. That kind of makes sense too. I'm labeling it as more of a mixtape because it's not really a conceptual, all of these songs fit together type of thing, more of a mixtape type of thing. But that's something I'm working on, and something that, like I said, I hope my new computer will help me with. But that's why I've been stepping back a little bit from writing a new song every week like I used to.
Nice, there you go.
But yeah, man. But with that being said, if you want to get into the what's popping of it all, we can go ahead. We can go ahead and get into that. All right. What's popping, man?
What's popping, bro?
You're leading us this week, right?
Yep, pretty much. So I'm gonna flip out here real quick, starting off with some community shout outs. We got, and please, by all means, throw in your info as well, too, if you have anything for these. So starting off, we got Elizabeth Suggs. She's an author, publisher, and editor. You can find her at www.editmewith2es.com. She also has a publishing package that goes along with it. You can check that out on the site.
She's been on the show quite a few times. Towards the beginning, I think she was in a couple times in the first season and maybe once or twice in the second season as well. Fantastic author. I'm in contact with her, trying to get her back on. So definitely go check her out.
Next up, I have Chris Foster. Poetry Roots presents a new poetry book, and that's said to be released here soon, coming up mid-August sometime. There's not a specific date out yet, but definitely look forward to that. PR Infidel. She's been on the show numerous times. We actually just had her on a few episodes ago. She has a new book coming out soon called The Spirits of Suddenly.
And you can go and check out some information on it on her website, and I believe on Amazon as well, along with her other books, Tales of American Idiocy and Conspiracy Crew The End is Meow. This is a new series, new IP, so to speak, fantasy-based, but also, as she's alluded to in her other books, very much talking about society, the government, what's going on in our world, and things like that. Go check it out. Go read the description and go check out PR Infidel. But can I just say, that's a baller ass cover.
Oh,
That's
really
why
nice.
I'll show it to you guys, because that's a baller ass cover. I'm really digging that.
Cool. All right. Next up, we got Ilse Judas Montgomery. She's got a couple of books out. One of them is Hive Mind of Maggots, and the other is Nightgowns and Other War Memorabilia. You can find those both out on Amazon. She has also been I'd say a longtime member of the community. She's been on the show quite a lot.
Since the beginning. Yep.
She also has her own poetry page on Facebook called Beelzy Poetry, and that's Belzie Poetry. So definitely go check that out. Next up, I have Dylan Carter. He's an MC/rapper. He goes by the name of D/Bo or Debo. You can check out the latest interview on the Franchise Report on YouTube. Also, September 20th in Nashua, New Hampshire, he'll be at The Spot. Eastman Records is hosting a show there that he's going to be part of as well. He also has his newest single called Free Snow, and that was released this past April.
Yeah. No, I definitely shout out Dylan. He's someone I got in contact with through, believe it or not, I believe he's younger than you, but older than me, somewhere mid-20s. But he was actually a counselor at the placement home that I used to be a resident of. And I got in contact with him through, shout out Mel, my old therapist / whatever, counselor in the Orion house. She messaged me like a long time ago and put me onto him. I got into contact with him. He's been super busy making music this past year or two, going out, doing events, making music. But I'm definitely going to get him on the show soon. He's definitely got some bars, and I always love local New Hampshire talent.
Absolutely.
Definitely shout out Dylan.
Shout out to Orion House and
yeah, shout out Orion House. And Melanie's been on the show before too, actually. Melanie has the record for performing one of the only three poems on the show in ever Lostboys history to actually make me cry. Shout out Mel, shout out Dylan. Get Mel back on the show and definitely get Dylan on the show soon.
Cool. So next up, I wanted to give a few shout outs to some of our longtime community members. One of them is Laurelyn Sandez. She continuously posts a ton of stuff on her Facebook and on her TikTok, all her accounts. She does art, but a lot of it is poetry and writing and stuff like that. Another one is Desi Lou. She's been a past guest two, maybe 3 episodes ago. She has also been posting a lot as well. And she also has her own podcast called The Immersive Experience on YouTube. So definitely go check that out. And last but not least, definitely not least, James Hamilton. He'll be at the OCA Arts Center in Missouri, open mic, December 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So definitely go check that out as well.
And he also has he'll be touring LA in September, all of the big venues. And he also has what's called a busker pass for Santa Monica Boulevard, which gives an artist the license to basically loiter on the street and perform without getting a loitering charge or something like that. So yeah, make sure you guys, if you guys are in the LA or Santa Monica area, make sure you guys go check him out in September.
Cool. So that's it. That's all I had for community shout outs. I don't know if there was anything else that you wanted to add before I start breaking into music.
No, I had just a couple for music when we get there, but I think that about covers it for community shout outs. Yep.
Okay, cool. Moving into music. Starting off, I got Shine Down. They just put out 3 singles. One is Killing Fields, 365, and Dance Kid Dance. Those were all released July 15th. Suicide Boys, The Kingdom Come album released Friday, August 1st. Crispy D and his new album called Manic, that just released as well on August 1st. Ren, Vincent's Tale Self-Portrait, that single just released Thursday, July 31st. Austin Williams has a Somebody single EP that released also on Friday, August 1st. Dax, Man I Used to Be single, released August 1st as well. And then I have Nev, Heaven or Hell. That single released Wednesday, July 30th. He's also put out a few other singles already this year. And he's somebody that I've been following for a long time as well. Hardy has a new single called Land that released Friday, August 1st. But he also has a new album coming out September 26th called Country. And that single Bottomland is off of that album. So I'm definitely eager for that. Bailey Zimmerman has 2 singles, Chevy Silverado and Coming In Cold, both released Friday, August 1st. He also has a new album coming out August 8th. So I believe that's 2 days from recording here tonight. That album is going to be called Different Night, Same Rodeo. Bush has a new album called I Beat Loneliness, and that released July 18th. And then Pointless Culture, which I want to make a note, we are actively trying to get them on the show. So stay tuned for that.
So Pointless Culture, I will just say the last video I edited, now I sit by myself either in my room or in my living room and go over all the shows and edit them. And it's usually about a 2-hour process for me, maybe longer. During my last session of editing, I played their new album on repeat. Fucking fantastic. They're from New Hampshire, and we're actively working on getting them on the show. I'm in contact with them. Fantastic fucking band. I love finding local talent. Like I said, definitely go check them out.
That album is called Better Off Dead, and that released July 25th.
Yeah. Yo, I can't honestly, bro. I will just say I am so excited to have a rock band on the show finally. But actually, there's a couple rock bands. Stay tuned because there's a couple rock bands that we're in contact with about coming on the show. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for Pointless Culture on Lostboys Cypher Circle.
And then I believe we have mentioned it in previous episodes, but 2 days time from recording tonight on August 8th, MGK's new album called Lost Americana is coming out. And then I have Slipknot, the Slipknot 25th anniversary edition. That'll be released September 5th. So that's a couple of months out, but definitely stay tuned for that as well. Kid Cudi, Free album, that will be released on August 22nd. So that's coming up here in, I believe, 2, maybe 3 weeks.
To clarify, the album is called Free, but it will cost money.
Yes.
Free album, like.
So then next up, we have 21 Pilots. Their new album will be released September 12th, and that album name is called Breach.
And honestly, real quick, I love 21 Pilots. They're seriously underrated. Love that fucking band. And Pointless Culture, I have not yet to ask them because we've yet to have them on the show, but it sounds like they had a lot of inspiration from 21 Pilots in their musical. So if you guys like 21 Pilots, you'll definitely probably vibe with the Pointless Culture band we mentioned as well.
Cool. Demon Jones, for more of our like country rap, Road to Heaven album, that'll be released August 22nd. Next up, I have Hailstorm. They're again on August 8th. Their new album called Everest will be released. And then Rise Against, Ricochet is the name of the album. That'll be released August 15th. And Dune Moss, which is somebody that I personally just discovered pretty recently. I've mentioned it on, I believe, the last episode. But she has a new single that released July 30th, and that's called Weird Fishes. Chris Hosier has an album that released July 11th called Still Paving. And then somebody that I'm in contact with, she actually privately messaged me the other night. She is a pretty small-time artist, but she definitely has a very powerful and beautiful voice. And that's Rin, capital R, capital I, capital N. You can find her on Spotify. And her newest single was released July 11th, and that's called I'll Stay. So definitely go check her out as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I got for music, Bob.
Yeah, before we end our What's Poppin' here, I did have just a couple more. Some of you may know Doechii. She won a Grammy this award, I believe, for biggest upcoming artist or female rapper, one of the two. I don't know. But she's got the Live from the Swamp tour out now. And then Falling in Reverse, a lot of people will know Falling in Reverse. And if you don't know Falling in Reverse, you'll definitely know Tech Nine. And both of them are on tour together. It's called the God is a Weapon tour. So go check that out. And then just a couple more artists that I found that I am working on getting in contact with. Two of them right now are giving out their album for free as long as you pay the shipping cost, which is like $5. The first of which is a man by the name of Hazel Bloom. He does emo, alt, pop rock. He's from Worcester, Mass, which again is very local to where we are in New Hampshire. And then for my more poppy girls out there, we've got Caroline Dare, who is also giving out her album for free as long as you cover the shipping cost. And she is more of the Taylor Swift type music. So definitely go check her out. And yeah, that about concludes our What's Poppin' segment for the night. And we have our guests in the studio here. We'll get them up here and I'll get this What's Poppin' banner out of here.
What it do?
First of all, I want to just say welcome back, Queen. Those who watched us from the beginning will know Queen. She was actually the first artist ever to appear on Lostboys Cypher Circle. Right? First episode, first artist. Yeah, you've been an OG since the very beginning.
What's up? How you doing?
Good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's been, I think, a lot. You haven't been on since like season 1, like 2023, maybe, I think. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Welcome back. And as everybody can see, we have Miss Lady Crucible. She's actually filling in for another artist who couldn't make it tonight, but he's going to grace our stage.
All
Some love for
right.
fire. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Who would like to go first tonight?
Oh, it don't matter.
Lady Crucible covered her face, so we'll have, I guess, we'll have Queen. So yeah,
I got to get my nerves together, folks.
smoke the mirrors there. Yeah, there you go. All right, Miss Queen, if you want to tell us who you are, what you do, for those of us who don't know you, by all means.
My name is Kween. I'm a spoken word artist, a creative artist. I do tattoos, jewelry, copper rap, poetry, paintings, you name it, man. I love to create. That's my passion. Hey, that's me.
Nice. Definitely good to have you on the show.
Good to be here.
Yo, Queen is, again, like Queen is
I'm gonna have to look you up.
most likely.
I,
Oh, I'm sorry. I think we talked over each other real
I
quick. Go
know.
ahead.
I was just saying I'm gonna have to look her up because she just sparked my interest. Heard her say she make jewelry and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
I'm
sent
over
you
here.
a friend request. I saw you send it to the other page. I'm like, no, go to my artist page. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Oh, I definitely will. My daughter gonna get mad at me. Where's my money going to? What had happened was Queen came out with something new, right? And then that's what had happened.
Hey,
That's how it happened.
if you like it, let's spread love. They all got crystal
Right.
pieces in there as well. Hey, it's very beautiful. I love it when I'm meditating, I'm doing my affirmations and all that stuff like that. And it's cute for us
Yeah,
girls.
I'm trying to get back on that level. Yeah, I had stepped out the boundary lines for a minute. I had to go show my
Oh,
ass real
okay.
quick. Now I got to step back in line and act like I'm a good girl again. It might be a little hard, but I'm gonna get there.
Every day is a new day, honey. One
Absolutely.
day at a time. I'm sorry I'm moving around, but I'm still now, I promise.
Yeah, no, you do.
So you had sent us the titles of 2 of your pieces, Queen. Which one did you want to start off with?
We're going to start off with King Kong.
King
All
Kong.
right.
All right. See your
Yeah.
timing?
Give me a King Kong type of king. The swing from the trees and land on his feet kind of king. Yet give me the one that'll go to war with 1,000 men about his business. He could drop his nuts if he wanted for shits and giggles. Give him to me. Because he can be as cool as the rest of them, but he can be as bad as the worst. So don't test him. He's a man first. Precise in his domination on his hands and knees, he will come for you. Walk you down until you're comfortable, and then proceed to choke you out until you come to. Yeah, give me that dude. I promise I'll cook his meals and hum along to the beat of his drums and the rhythm of his blues. If he's Tarzan, I'll be Jane. That's cool. Impon.
All right. Short and sweet. I like that. And it's been a while since I've been able to say this to you, but I love your metaphors. I love the way you write. I really do. And
Thank
I
you.
miss it so much. I really think that more men probably need to hear that poem than women, simply because a lot of people nowadays, and we talked about this quite a bit on the show, is the idea of a man or what's manly has been very construed, right? And it's been very tainted. And it's this kind of thing where it's all you got to conceal your feelings. You've got to be this perfect stature of work hard and keep your emotions in check. And that's what most men think a man is, but really a man, and I love how you illustrated what a man really is, because I was raised by a single mother who taught me as a woman how to be a man, which is something that I don't think a lot of women, let alone men, even grasp. But a real man is someone who takes care of his family, shows respect to others, not necessarily someone who controls his feelings, but someone who can be that protection figure, be that standing figure of, okay, don't fuck with me, but also that gentle hand, that shoulder to cry on, that honest and open about what he's feeling inside. Because as much as it looks cool on TV, no woman wants to be with a man who keeps his emotions concealed and doesn't talk about shit and doesn't show that emotional side as well. And I love how you illustrated both sides of that.
I definitely have to agree with that as well. He took a lot of the words out of my mouth, but yeah, no, I like the way that you illustrated that, and like you said, it's short and sweet, but very powerful as well.
Very short and sweet, but very powerful and very impactful. To all you sweet motherfuckers out there with little girl sensitive feelings, this poem was for you. I hope y'all heard her loud and clear.
Yeah, definitely fantastic piece. You want to get into your second piece here now?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right.
With the ability to drip freely, calling so sweetly, affirming the affirmations of the land of milk and honey, the heaven on earth prophecy. See, this pussy got power. Now, another chick could probably do a split, a backflip, maybe even a karate kick. But the universe between my hips has been known to spit lullabies as we rock abide in the world created by you and I. No rules to abide, we can do what we like. This pussy having healing energy can heal you every time you touch the base of my tree of life. Call it grounding when you bury your toy inside of my dwelling. Affirmations run rampant when you wrap your fingers around my neck and then squeeze. Rewarded by bite marks and sloppy kisses, sometimes healing gets vicious, but never submissive to a low vibrational energy. You can conquer or be dejected, sent packing rejection. This pussy having healing energy can heal you. So don't play with it, just lay in it and pray in it. Close your eyes and tap into the magic as you swim in this fountain of youth, giving you life's ultimate gift.
I like it. I like how you tiptoe right on that line between, and I didn't even, honestly, until now, I didn't know there was a line between eroticism and self empowerment, but like walking that line of eroticism and self empowerment. And that was very much a self empowerment poem, right? A very much, I know what I have, I know what my worth is. And I love how you embodied that. And eroticism in poetry, it's tricky, man. And a lot of people fuck it up. A lot of people don't do it right. And I think that you have a very subtle way of working it into your poems, and it just works. It works.
Thank you very much.
It's the fact y'all heard that she said this pussy got power. Mentally, physically, and spiritually.
And to touch on that, her last line, she said, the greatest gift of,
Yeah, to life's ultimate gift. Because it gives you the gift of life. To our, of course, sex in our vagina, of course, life passes through. And that's basically what it was, the poem was talking about, as far as just taking ownership of you and your universe and what you have. It ain't got to be like nobody else. You don't have to be like anyone else. But at the same time, it all holds power. Your power may not be my power, but that doesn't make either of us less powerful. That's kind of where I got that just the power of the people.
yeah, we need that on that shirt. The power of the P. Which just, it'll be like, so people can wear it in public and it'll be PC for the children. Will have like the power of the P, and then it'll just be like one of those little cat emojis right down at the, or like a,
Remember the cartoon, We're Pound Puppies. I want to go home with you. words. Can you imagine that logo in cat form though? And you got whole
Yeah.
words that's just spitting out the mouth of the cat. Look, this is how it go. I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. This is what it is. Take it or leave
That's
it,
it.
don't it?
That's it.
All right,
Oh
well,
man.
thank you for sharing that with us. I guess we will get into Miss Lady Crucible now. She was on a couple episodes ago, but if you do want to introduce yourself and tell us who you are for those of us who don't know you, by all means.
For those that don't know me, my name is Lady Crucible, aka the Mistress of Mayhem, aka the Debutante of Destruction, aka the Tasmanian Devil. You can find me everywhere under either one of those egos. It's not my fault which ego you run into first. I am not responsible, so I'm just throwing my disclaimer out there ahead of time. Today, you guys are actually going to get Lady Crucible.
Okay.
This piece is called I Digress.
I digress. All right, that will get us on out of here.
The world is not on my shoulders. It's in my chest. Heavy of betrayal. Dense as silence in a room where nobody dares to ask, are you okay? Because the answer will crack the air in two. Been carrying storms that don't even belong to me. I've been biting my tongue so it doesn't bleed grief all over the carpet. Being the strong one who everybody leans on. While I collapse in invisible increments. This ain't survival. It's slow motion suffocation. These screams lodged behind my molars rots like a secret. The weight, it ain't metaphorical anymore. It's clinical. It's spiritual. Crawling through my bloodstream, turning marrow to dust. Stress chiseled its way into my spine, standing crooked now from always carrying. I'm fine when I'm anything but. See, I digress because if I say what I really mean, then the sky gonna fall, or maybe worse. You'll say you understand when you don't. Not really. Not unless you sat on your bed wondering if you're really dead. Because nothing moving inside my head except the noise. My equilibrium is shot, the ground tilts, and I walk like a question mark, bent around every, why me? My mind is malfunctioning like a TV on static, a prayer that forgot how to reach heaven. Thoughts glitching or repeating bad codes. You're a burden. You're a burden. You're a burden. Error, error, hope not found. And I wake up because my fist throwing fits, swinging at something that was transparent. It didn't have a face. My grace misplaced, but I digress. Not because my truths are small. It's too big for this page, for this stage, for my throat. Those moments where I pretended I'm okay. Now I'm tired of pretending, living like a crime scene no one's found yet. Breaking down in silence so I don't break anyone else. If this pressure cracks me wide open, don't say I didn't try and that I didn't love y'all and that I didn't put up a fight. See, I've just been at war with myself for so long, forgetting what peace really feels like. But I digress, because if I don't, my truth will drown you too. And I've bled long enough to know just how much it hurts. So I digress.
I just want to say that's very powerful.
Oh man, that was fire. That was fire. How did you come up?
So a shout out to Paul Cram, the poet.
Yeah.
He did a piece, something similar to this. And I'm going to tell y'all, like I told him earlier this morning on another platform. His poem screamed at me. So I had to scream back.
And it was like, why you do that?
Yeah.
Like, how you just gonna come over here and just
Yeah.
scream and just make my emotion reveal?
Yeah.
But then it was like, my pen was like, yeah, you is. It's time to get it out. And that's how
Yeah.
that became out.
And sometimes it be like
I
Oh,
definitely
absolutely.
got to thank Paul
Yeah.
Cram for the inspiration behind this
Hell yeah.
piece.
Hell yeah.
I
First of
really
all,
love the new
shout out,
design.
shout out Paul Cram. He's actually real quick relating to what we were saying, talking about Queen's last piece. Paul Cram is actually an acronym, and his name stands for Proof a Woman Can Raise a Man.
and raise a man. Yep.
And
It
it's
is.
something I was touching on with her last piece and being raised by a single mother. I love that he uses that acronym as his poetic identity because that is so much of my identity as well. And how I became the man I am was because of my mother. And just, yeah, shout out Paul Cram, fantastic poet. Second of all, I really love this, and it actually ties in with the first rap song or song I really ever wrote. And it's called Nothing Else to Say. The acapella version is out on my YouTube if you guys want to check it out after this. But the starting line is, they ask me if I'm happy, and I tell them I'm okay. I tell them that because there's really nothing else to say. And like you said in your piece, if I really told them what's going on, what type of fucking shitstorm
Am I gonna, guys, if I really say what I really want to say, y'all ain't gonna like me after I do. Because then it's gonna be like, oh, you crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, something wrong with you. But why can't my feelings be of equal value like everybody else's? Why mine can't be valid? So if this is the only way I can express myself, then bam, here you go. Sometimes you what they say, you gotta pop out and show out sometimes, just so you can
No,
be heard.
absolutely.
That's true. And so I've worked a lot of jobs. The one I'm working right now is customer service based, and it's many customers.
Bless you. That's all I'm gonna say is bless you.
So it's like you don't want to ruin these people's day by being like, the cashier in there is a fucking asshole. He's having a shitty day. It's like you want to present, but it's after the 200th customer of saying, yep, I'm having a great day. I'm having
I'd be like that after the 10th customer. Lord, and I gotta do this for the rest of the day. Excuse me, can I run outside to the back real quick? I need a smoke break. Real quick.
It's exhausting to just, I mean, it's not even that I'm pretending, because when I show up to work, like, I ain't that day. I usually am in a good mood. But then after the 200th customer, I could be better.
Right.
Keeping up this good mood is fucking exhausting for 8 hours straight.
Oh no,
Oh,
absolutely.
You up there feeling like one of the lollipop kids from Lilac Fam. Like, yeah, I'm fine, oh buddy, old smile. And this motherfucker, and then look up under your breath, this motherfucker asked me one more goddamn stupid ass question. One more. Yes, ma'am. How can I help you? Welcome to Walmart customer service.
They would again.
Ask me one more time and explain it. It's gonna be a problem. I'm not
Really?
stand here and explain it 13 times.
Yeah.
Customer service.
I just use that as an example because I deal with a lot of people all during the day. But even when I was working jobs where I wasn't dealing with a lot of people, it does get exhausting after a certain point in the day to just be like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Everything's fine. Thanks for asking. It gets exhausting.
Right.
And
No, absolutely. Even outside of the customer service, just in life in general, trying to keep up a facade, trying to put on a smile for everybody else's sake.
I just got to the point I started going to my car and I just came back smelling funny. Why you smell like that? Because let me just go and break something down for you, bro. I had to go hit the happy stick so I could stop pretending to be happy. That way I ain't got to explode while I'm here and you guys won't see the natural, actual ass that I really have to show, and ain't got no problem in telling you kissing it while walking out the door. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
hopefully nobody in corporate is watching this part of the show at this particular moment. But y'all didn't think this was nicotine, did you? I'm out front on some James Bond type shit. All right, I quit nicotine over 6 months ago. Nah, that is THC liquid diamonds. All right, we out here sit out front. I don't got time to go out back. I'm the only person running the store. I stand out front.
Cider. Yeah, we got that strawberry, that kiwi. We got some blueberry back there. You know what? This one we got 94%. We got 82 over here. You know what? My lungs been just fine. You want to hit this shit to try it out? I promise you, you're gonna be happy to the motherfucker out.
Really?
Happy, hungry, and sleepy, my boy.
No,
No,
absolutely,
absolutely.
absolutely. Anyway, with that being said, do you want to get into your second piece here? This is a new ink. I'm excited for
Yeah,
this one.
this is finished yesterday, ink. Born yesterday.
Nice. All right. I will drop us right on out.
I'm gonna say this ahead of time. Trigger warning for some of those. Don't want to trigger nobody, then I'm gonna give a trigger warning ahead of time. This is called click, click, then silence. It's starting again. The voices inside my head, they start talking again. So my psyche had to take a break just so I could allow myself to break. Those broken fragments, shattered, scattered. Good morning, gorgeous. Became a spell casted through smoke and mirrors. Darkness been tugging at my sleeves. Can you see him? Staring back at me, looking just like me. While whispering, you ain't shit. Screamed, I'm nothing, I'm worthless and so undeserving. Had me drowning in my feelings. Cried rivers so deep, I thought they may flood my lungs. Bled from wounds, thinking that if I bled out, maybe my pain will pour into this cup of transparency, creating a secret ingredient to my agitations. Do you feel it? Depression seeping through my pores like cyanide poisoning, subtle yet deadly. Ever hold your head to cold steel, staring down the barrel of a gun when I've already lost the war? Tried to end it quickly, but no. Click, click. Damn, the damn thing jammed. Unloaded it, then spun it again. Trigger don't fail me now. Them voices told me to do it, so I listened. Because my mental didn't come with a subscription, but I'm already subscribed to this pain. Click. The revolver spins, and I cursed myself. I'm stupid. Can't even get this shit. I'm just trying to take my life like I'm a damn sacrifice. Trepidations don't shine no light. Ever been in a room so bright it hurts? But my mind was so fucked up, I swore them shadows held me tighter than reality. I could feel the slipping of my sanity. That darkness wrapped itself around my throat. All I could hear was the buzzing of my thoughts. Inside my head, locked in a padded room, no air. I can't escape. These screams locked in my chest. Why is this happening to me? Why won't this hammer cock back? Click. This was my plan of attack, but the damn thing won't work. Ever hear the voices in your head cheering depression on a crowd of angry fans? Aggression constantly on replay, transgressions runs deep, no expressions to show, just confessions I can't speak of. Click. This emotional roller coaster's gone off the rails. Loops and turns, twisted spirals. My emotions a train wreck. And I'm the damn conductor. Manic, pacing this cage, got no worth left to bargain with. As trauma took a turn for the worse, then voices cranked up. Now I'm sucking deep in that place of no grace, stuck in this stagnant state of mind, lost in my own lies, contemplating my worth as I ate the bullshit off this plate. Click, click, pow. Then silence.
First thing I want to say, and I meant to touch on this in your last piece, is I love how more than just the reading, the formal, you have this whole, you embody the piece.
And we gonna
You embody the piece completely. And in your last piece, you had this line where you were supplicating, and then I saw Queen's eyebrow. When you did that, her eyebrows went up, and she was like, "Damn!" Because when you incorporate that type of shit into your performance, and you did it again here in this one, it takes it to another level, right? You're embodying the piece completely. It's not just reading words off a page, and I just love how you fucking do that. I try to be expressive when I perform my pieces, but not nearly to the extent that I see you do it. So
You definitely bring in a certain level of power, of commitment within your pieces, and it is incredibly powerful and very deep topics that a lot of people not only don't, but won't touch on. So I definitely appreciate it as far as that goes as well.
for sure.
This piece is actually a true story. I was 16 at the time. And I just felt like everybody just gave up on me. And I didn't have nobody to turn to. Mom was sick, in and out of the hospital. I'm the oldest, everything. It's like the weight of the world was on my shoulders, and it's just, I couldn't take it no more. It's ended. And I kept hearing the voice, just end it all. It ain't like nobody gonna care. And I literally sat on the edge of that bed. And I know for a fact that there was 5 bullets in the chamber. Ain't no way of hearing every time I clicked that gun, it shouldn't have went off. But that just goes to show how powerful God really is. Because he stopped, and all I could get was a click. The gun jammed. I never got to fire it. Unloaded it, loaded it back up, spent the chamber again. Come on, this is some bullshit. Come on, stop playing. I'm trying to end this shit, get it over with. And I couldn't, it wouldn't fire.
I just wanted to say this right here and the work that you're doing now and who you are becoming now is exactly why that didn't happen that night. I think I can speak for all of us when I say I'm incredibly thankful for that. It is a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That gun jammed for a reason. You have a purpose, and this is your purpose. And hell, if you ain't doing something with your second chance, man, that is. You talk about God being powerful and the power it took to stop that gun. And this is something I had a kind of a conversation with someone about recently. It's just not about the power it takes to stop the gun, right? It's about what you do after the gun jams, after you stop yourself, after God stops you, whatever the case may be. That takes a lot of power, but then it equally takes just as much power to do something with the second chance you were.
Absolutely.
Period.
And that's us. I've been suppressing these feelings and these emotions for so long. It's like I'm getting that second chance at life, getting that second chance with bettering my relationship with God. And you get that glimpse of the past, but it's not to live or dwell there. It's to learn the valuable lessons and how to move forward in the new walk of life. So it's like when you see them hurdles, pay attention this time. Don't stumble over. If you stumble, now you're going to be stuck. And I'm not trying to stumble and be stuck at the same time. That's not a good combination.
I can definitely relate to that. It's very powerful piece and very powerful message in general.
Thank you.
And thank you again for sharing it with us tonight.
Absolutely. So we both had a piece that we wanted to share here, and it's going to take a minute for me to get mine prepared, so I'll let Brendan go here. And I think, Brendan, it is called I'm Still Here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It relates a lot kind of to what Lady Crucible was just saying in her piece as well. And I actually just wrote and published or posted this last night. This is called I'm Still Here. Don't talk to me about drive when I'm running on fumes and pretending to breathe so you don't ask questions. Don't hit me with your 5-year plans and your fucking vision boards when I can't see past this next breath without tasting metal. You want to talk about grit, about discipline, about work ethic? Motherfucker, I wake up every day in a war zone you don't even know exists. I smile like it doesn't hurt, like it's not screaming inside, like the ceiling didn't almost win last night. Y'all sit around dreaming about yachts, careers, and vacations while I'm trying not to hang myself with the strings of every word I never said, every silence I swallow so you could feel comfortable. You want to know why I'm still here? It ain't for me. It's for the kid who calls me dad, for the people who'd bury me with a closed casket because the truth is too ugly to face. And it kills me, fucking kills me, that I haven't been there like I should have been, that I missed so much, and that I let the bottle speak louder than his voice, that I let my distance become normal, that I sat 3.5 hours away in New York drinking myself into oblivion while my son grew up without the father he deserves. Part of that is on me, and I will fully admit that. I moved out there chasing something I thought I needed, and instead I found a void that drank me whole. I numbed it all. Drugs, alcohol, silence. I watched myself vanish day by day, knowing damn I should have been next to him instead. Now I'm back. Back in New Hampshire, back with clear lungs and sober hands. No more drinking, no more drugs, no more numbing. I cut that shit out of my life because he deserves more. He deserves me, the real me. But still, that doesn't stop. The guilt doesn't stop. The pain doesn't go away. It keeps me up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m., sometimes even longer. Just me in the ceiling, eyes wide, reliving all the nights I wasn't there to tuck them in, all the days I missed, all the memories that never got made because I was too lost in my own hell. That guilt doesn't whisper, it screams. It cuts and stabs like a jagged spike through my heart every single night. I'm trying, goddammit, I'm trying. Because he deserves a father who's present, who shows up, who earns back every moment he missed. So don't you dare tell me I'm half in, because I ain't walking your fucking tightrope with a bounce in my step. I'm crawling, barefoot over glass, guilt, and ghosts just to be here at all. You ask about my dreams? You never fucking did. Not once. But since you're so curious now, my dream was to die without making anyone feel like it was their fault. That's it. My long game? Not to let the darkness win before I kiss my son goodnight again. You got your ambition, I got survival. You got goals, I got scars. So before you come at me with tough love and motivational bullshit, take a long, hard look at what it takes for me just to stand upright in this game. You call it weakness, I call it war. And I've been bleeding victory in silence every goddamn day. And yeah, go ahead. Keep calling me strong like it's a compliment, like it's not the weight that's crushing my spine. You say I'm resilient, I say I'm unseen. You say you've got this, I say fuck you, because if I had it, I wouldn't be walking around with my soul duct taped to my ribcage. See, this smile, it isn't bravery, it's a muzzle, a goddamn tourniquet to keep the bleeding behind my eyes from staining your comfort zone. I laugh so you can stay ignorant, I nod so you don't flinch. You want truth, you want sadness, sand it down and dressed up so you don't have to feel guilty about looking away. But let me say this loud and clear for the ones in the back. I am not okay. I'm not okay, and I haven't been for a long fucking time. You just never noticed because I made it look good, because I performed peace like a goddamn puppet with a noose for strings. Every smile you fed on was carved from the same hunger that almost swallowed me whole, and still I showed up. Still held your hand, still played therapist, backbone, savior. I carried the weight of 10 lifetimes just so you could call me dependable. But where the fuck were you when I needed a place to collapse? You ever been so quiet you could hear your own mind scream? Not the poetic kind, the real one. The voice in the attic, scratching the walls, dragging trains through your skull while you smile and make coffee like you aren't hearing hell echo behind your teeth. That's me. That's every fucking morning. I don't wake up, I come back from the dead and pretend I meant to. You don't want to know the things I think when the lights go off and the masks slip. You'd either run or break in front of me. There's a demon in my chest that wears my face like a badge. Tells me every day that everyone's better off if I'm gone. And some days, I believe it. But then, I think of my son, of his tiny voice saying daddy, of the way he looks at me when I built the fucking sky. And I stay. Not because I want to, but because I have to. Because I'd rather haunt this pain than pass it down to him. Don't you ever mistake my stillness for peace. It's not calm, it's containment. It's every scream I've swallowed, coiled in my gut like a serpent made from shattered glass, waiting for one more, you okay? So it can unhinge its jaw. You want to know how I keep going? I fucking don't. I restart, I reanimate, I duct tape my soul back together with shaking hands and caffeine breath while whispering, Just one more day, man. Just one more fucking day. This is not a fucking poem. Don't treat it like one. Don't snap your fingers and nod like you get it. This is me dragging my insides out by the roots because talking politely never stopped the rot. This is not a metaphor. This is marrow. This is what it sounds like when silence starts to scream. I'm still here because dying felt like handing them the win, because every time I got close to the edge, I heard a voice, my voice, whispering, not like this, not yet. Because my kid still says daddy like it's the safest word in the world. Because I never learned surrender, only how to pretend to be fine until I wasn't pretending anymore. Because someone needs to know that survival doesn't always look like strength. Sometimes it looks like this, like me. Still bleeding, still breaking, but not fucking gone, not yet. And for anyone reading this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not the man you thought I was. I'm sorry I wasn't there when I should have been. I know I'm not alone in feeling this, so most of all, I'm sorry for you, for those of you fighting battles unseen. I'm sorry nobody was there holding you through all the war you went through. I'm sorry to the ones who didn't win the fight. So carve it in the asphalt, say it so loud the sky flinches. I'm still here. Not because I wanted to be, but because leaving would have been too easy. And I was never built for easy. I was built for war.
First and foremost, I want to just thank you for being open, honest, and taking responsibility for your flaws. And I think we've talked about this on past shows, and we've talked about the road to recovery, whether it be sobriety or just being a better person in general. And it starts with you, and it starts with taking accountability for the things you've done, first and foremost, to yourself before you can take accountability for them to the world. And yeah, that definitely embodies that for sure.
Thank you.
Hey, Crucible, what'd you think?
First off, very deep, very heavy. But you have a line that sticks out. When you say, I got this. But if I really had this, I wouldn't have, what was that you said? You wouldn't have duct tape behind your rib cage?
I wouldn't have my soul duct tape behind my rib cage.
That line right there. Ooh. I pictured just literally your soul being duct tape. Just duct tape literally around your rib cage area, bro. I don't know how else to keep it there. That was very deep and very powerful. Yeah, I felt every bit of that. Definitely felt every bit of that. Ow. How did you feel after writing that? You can't fix it.
Relieved a little bit. It definitely helped get a little bit of stress off of my chest. It's not easy. In the whole thing, it's a culmination of everything, of conversations with everybody, of my own thoughts, my own battles, obviously, that I'm going through. And I don't want to say it made me feel better. It helped a little bit.
Kind of remove just a little pressure. I give you just a little sigh of relief.
Just enough.
It's not like that big. You could just. I definitely feel that because man, after I wrote that piece, it was like I sat here and cried, and it was like wow. And it's like when you sit and really think about things that you. Okay, so if this is what I was is this what I was really put here for? Because if it is, you could have forewarned me first, so I could have just prepared myself and been ready. Like I ain't have to find out the hard way, or it just sneak up on me. And then it's like when you're trying to fight it, and you finally feel like you at the level you need. It's like the video game. Just when you think you that close to the finish line, something just pop out and just bam. Now you all the way back, and we're gonna have our moments where we stumble, or we're gonna have our moments where we fall. But like they said, we got to get back up again. We can't let it beat us.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you for fighting and staying strong. Because people don't realize it's a hard battle. Mental health is definitely real.
That's for sure. More often than not, we're our own worst enemy. And somebody criticizes, or not necessarily criticizes, but just trying
Sometimes we self-sabotage ourselves.
absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, and I definitely, again, like I said, I appreciate how open and honest that was in a lot of areas, and just definitely a great piece and written as well too. That being said, I'm gonna actually show you guys. I don't know, Lady Crucible, if you've ever heard this piece by me, but this is the piece I was talking about a little bit earlier when I was talking about just that day to day of like when they asked me, "Are you okay? What's going on? Like, how you doing? Whatever it is, should I tell them the truth? Should I tell them what's really going on? Because if I tell them what's really going on, God knows what type of fucking shitstorm that's gonna start." And I wrote this.
Exactly.
I wrote this actually a long time ago now. I was in a placement home around 15, 16 years old. Started writing it then, completed it when I got out of placement, and then edited it again after my mom passed away. You'll see why, I guess, in the piece. It just, for in all intents and purposes, basically just had to be edited to past tense in some areas or present tense in others. But basically, that's the short story of this piece, and it's called Nothing Else to Say. Also, I couldn't find the fucking piece, so I'm hoping I can remember it. I've had this in my memory for 10 years, so here it goes. So they ask me if I'm happy, and I tell them I'm okay. I tell them that because there's really nothing else to say. Should I tell them how my world just got turned upside down, or then when I reach the greater heights, I just fall and hit the ground? Should I tell them I'm a psycho? Or maybe tell them I'm just nuts? Because every time I get the ball, I fumble it like a klutz. Should I tell them I'm a failure? Or maybe tell them I'm fucked up? Because the only kind of peace I find's at the bottom of a cup. Maybe I should blame my ADD. Or maybe my bipolar. Or maybe this soul that turns to stone is my heart is getting colder, but there's no need to say it. They can see it in my eyes. All the anger and the pain, deep behind the lies, cloaked in fake emotion, but right beneath the skies. When hell on earth arrives on the dark streets of my mind, and they act like they're surprised when I lash out or I cry, but all this shit has gotten to me. It's hard to just sit by. I try to hold it in and fly, try to reach some greater heights, but it's harder every night, and I'm still left to wonder why. I can't get up and gather all my thoughts while this darkness closes in on my motherfucking heart. Why I can't turn the key and start because my brain is stuck in park, and even if I could, still driving in the dark. That darkness in my brain, well, I slowly go insane from this overwhelming pain. It travels through my veins like a drug, and I'm so dazed, getting drunk and high for days, just to keep that old me fucking chained up in that day. But one thing I know is that demon's here to stay. And I know that there's no way I could ever change my stupid, selfish ways, and my mama knew it was hard for me to look her in the face. She knew what I had done, and she knew it had just begun. Knew I was only getting darker because there is no fucking sun, and wondered why the darkness came and swallowed up her son. Wondered why I'm not so strong. Wondered how that demon won. And I still wonder that myself. As I'm fastening this belt around my fucking neck, but just so I can feel those fucking stitches in my chest. My mom, she felt them every day. Mom, I know I caused you pain. And I'd write you a letter, but there's nothing else to say. And that is nothing else to say.
Damn, bro.
And I have never performed it like that before. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that performance because that was way off the cuff. Yeah. What you guys think?
That was incredibly fucking powerful. But definitely adds an entire another level to it. Another tier of delivery.
Gave it a different delivery and a slight different cadence too.
Yeah, it is written as a rap. I actually have a beat that I bought non-exclusive rights to, which means I have to renew the contract after a certain amount. But I have a beat that I bought that goes with it. It's actually a rap song, but just off the cuff here, also pulling it from the depths of my brain. I don't know. I went to the zone on that one for sure. But yeah, like I said, that for my mom, and Yeah, because she's one of the few people that, when everybody asks you if you're okay, how you're doing, how's your day going, this is no slight on those people, but they don't really actually care. They don't really want you to tell them how your fucking day is going. But my mom was one of the few people who genuinely cared when she asked that question. And that's part of the reason she's incorporated at the end there. I'd write you a letter, but there's nothing else to say. Not in the sense of, and even past tense when she's gone, I'm not saying it as far as there's nothing else to say, because I talk to my mom all the time, even though she's not here. And you can call me fucking crazy if you want to, but for me, it's no different than talking to God. But that's a whole other kind of subject for another time. What I was getting at, though, is it's more saying there's nothing else to say, because my poems, my art, and just the way I carry myself says it all. And that's kind of part of what I was trying to inflect, is even if I had the mom to sit down and tell her how I was doing, I'm not sure I would, simply because a lot of it is, like I said, I feel as if I'm burdening other people with my problems. When I like customer service, when all these people ask me how I'm doing, if I'm okay, I don't actually think they want to know. I don't think they actually care, and it's no slight on them. It's simply that I don't want to burden them with my bullshit. And especially towards the end of her life, that was something I did less frequently. Not that I wouldn't talk to my mom towards the end of her life, but I wouldn't share as much of what was bothering me, because she was fighting a lung condition and her own stuff. Like, she didn't need my stress added onto that. And for those of you who don't know, that's where the stitches in the chest line comes from. Your child does something crazy and you're like, oh my God, Dylan, don't do that. You're going to give me a heart attack. My mom used to say that all the time. Dylan, don't fucking do that. You're going to give me a heart attack. But it was also in reference to, she had a terminal lung condition. So it was a double entendre there. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I feel like I talked about it more than you guys did.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I've heard you perform it a few different ways, right? I've heard the raw draft of it without the beat. I believe I have heard it with the beat, or maybe not with the beat, but in the flow of the rap or whatever. But I definitely, like I was saying earlier, it definitely adds another tier to it, another level of it. And personally, I really like the way that you performed that tonight. It probably is the most impactful version, not necessarily version of it, because it's the same thing, but performance of it.
Thanks. Like I said, not off the cuff.
The performance is definitely magnificent. It's the vulnerability and the transparency of it. Wasn't no shame in your game. Like, you was just talking to him head on. Look, we ain't doing this shit no more. But I like how you are able to take that one piece and just flip it in so many different ways and make it fit the criteria of where it need to be. So that's
Absolutely.
definitely dope.
That's probably my favorite thing about that piece. Just as a performing artist, that's like my comfort piece. You probably have one or two yourself, right? You got that one comfort piece. I can slide into this anytime, anywhere, and I can perform it in front of MCs, or I can perform it in front of authors or poets or whatever it is. You got that one piece that it's like you kind of go to, like, this embodies who I am, showcases my skills, and I've been working with it for a lot of years, so I know all the ins and outs of that piece. You know what I mean?
That's your motto piece, the flow like water, sting like bee.
Yeah, flow like water, sting like bee. That's from my man, Bruce Ali. So ridiculous.
But no, it really is, though. It really is.
Yeah, no, I don't even consider it really one of my best, but I just consider it my signature. And if you've seen my signature, trust me, it's not the best.
Yeah, mine's physical signature isn't all that great either. It's actually proven that the more intelligent you are, the worse your handwriting is.
Then I'm telling you right now, I am taking over Tesla and Rocket X tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Move over, Elon. Are you kidding me? No, yeah, man. That's why I type everything.
Right.
I used to have this joke back in my school with one of my teachers, And she was like a grammar teacher or like a language arts teacher for 11 years, right? She was hardcore grammar. Very nice lady, but I was always like, when I grow up, I want to be a writer. And she was like, no, when you grow up, you want to be a typer. I was like, oh, that's fair, because she would always let me sit in the classroom when no one was there, or bring me to the guidance counselor's office so I could sit in there and write and whatever and just have my space. I really discovered I wanted to be a writer early on, 9, 10 years old. And the joke was always, oh, you don't want to be a writer, you want to be a typer, but that's okay.
No, that's great.
Anyway, that kind of wraps up the show for tonight, besides our last segment here that we like to do with our guests before they leave, goalpost. And that is where we go around in a circle and kind of give some personal goals and some artistic goals from each of us. And I'm not sure, I've lost track of who started last week or whatever, but I'll just kick us off. Sorry if I'm recycling goals, but they are things I'm still working on. So, for an artistic goal, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, as soon as I get my new laptop, working more on recording my pieces and putting them out on the YouTube channel with their own little dedicated artwork and whatnot. And that's something I really want to get back into. I really enjoyed doing it, and I thought it was really cool. And people seem to like it based on the views I got. So definitely going to start putting that out there very soon. That's my artistic goal. And my personal goal is still to climb the fucking mountain. It is in my backyard. It has been 90 goddamn degrees. Like, I'm looking for 70, 75. Like, I ain't going up a fucking mountain when my skin's melting off my bones. You get what I'm saying? You hear me? I ain't doing it. I'll be a puddle of goo before I get up there.
Hey, man, that's something that we can both do. Hopefully we can set something up so I can go up with you or do a camping trip or something here soon, because I haven't really done shit this summer either.
For sure, dude. For sure. Oh, yeah. That leaves it on you for your goals.
Okay, I'm gonna just be mentally in my head with y'all when y'all do it. I ain't climbing nobody mountain. I'm sorry. No.
Hey, mental support is...
I climb physically in my head. Hey, I'm taking every step with y'all in my head. I ain't going up. You give me 10 feet off the ground, I'm screaming for me. Personal goal of mine is to get this book written, writing myself free would be my title. Writing myself to freedom, somewhere along that nature. I'm actually working on my pages that I want in the book right now, preparing for this competition. Shout out to Mama Tony. May you rest in peace, Allie Ink Pen. That was my twin pen. That was my shout out to Wolf Owls, Legendary Ink, Lostboys, Cypher, everybody that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't bump pens with, tapped ink with, stuff, yo.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you. I guess that leaves it on you, bro.
Cool. So, artistic goal, I want to... Now, I don't want to be like necessarily piggybacking off of yours, but I definitely have to say that I need to not only want to, but I need to start actually posting a lot more stuff and more on other platforms. So I've been posting some of my writings or poems, whatever you want to call them, because sometimes it's poems, sometimes it's spoken word, sometimes they're stories, sometimes it's parts of my book. But I really need to start posting on all my platforms or whatever. So I have everything now, like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of that. I just really have to start pushing them through all my socials. And as a personal goal, I need to start talking more. I need to, and that one's really hard, but I need to start letting people in a little bit and expressing myself so I don't necessarily have to get to the point where I'm not necessarily fighting with myself, but fighting with myself, for lack of better terms.
All right. Definitely some good goals, everybody. I wish everybody luck with their goals. And thank you again, Lady Crucible, for filling in, coming on, being once again a huge part of the show. Again, I can't thank you enough for everything you've given to the show. And every time you come on here and spit your fire, it is absolutely a treat and a fucking blessing. So thank you.
I'm so looking
Always,
forward
you know,
to your
I'll definitely be letting y'all know when that's in the works.
Oh yeah, definitely love to hear about it.
And y'all will be the first to know about it. It'll be right there featured on What's Poppin' as soon as she sends it over. So make sure you keep a lookout for that and keep a lookout for next time Miss Lady Crucible is on. Thank you so much. We will let you get out of here and we'll wrap up the show. Have a great night.
You guys have a great night.
You as well.
Hell yeah, man. Good show.
Oh,
Great
absolutely.
artist. First and foremost, as far as my final thoughts, I just want to thank Kween. And I want to thank both of them, Kween and Lady Crucible, but I want to thank Kween again for coming on. She was literally, and I didn't get into this when she first came on, but she started me on my job. So I started wanting to perform spoken word and kind of be on camera or get my stuff out there for a very long time, but I got the confidence to do it through watching this channel on YouTube called Button Poetry and a lot of the poets that were on there. And I'm like, yo, I really want to do something like that. So I started joining poetry groups on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Facebook. And she had this Facebook group back in the day. I don't know if it's been discontinued since then, but it was the Catalina Wine Mixer Facebook group where she did live streams on Facebook like every week or every 2 weeks or something like that. And I would come on pretty consistently. And that's the first time I ever showed my face on camera, performed anything, got myself out there at all. I might have done nothing else to say back then, probably because it was my comfort piece, right? And then I fell out of contact with her for a little bit, right? And started doing my own thing. I was writing a bit, but I wasn't really performing or posting much. And finally, I was like, I really want to get back into that. So I messaged her one day, and she wasn't doing the live streams anymore, but she had another show that she had referred me to. And so through that, I started going on that show a lot. And that led me to just wanting to start my show. It was maybe hubris, maybe stupidity, maybe insanity. I like to think a little bit of bravery, maybe, but to think that an introverted person could be a host, first of all, because as most artists are, as most poets are, I'm very introverted and I'm not very camera friendly. And I definitely wasn't 2, 3, 4 years ago when I first met Kween and she first introduced me. But I just wanted to thank her for introducing me to the online poetry scene, because she was really my first introduction into that scene as a participant rather than a viewer. So it was great to have her back on. And like I said, she was the first guest ever on Lostboys Cypher Circle. And every time I needed a fill in from then on, for almost the whole first season, she filled in for almost the whole first season if guests were canceling. Hats off to Kween, and thank you so much for introducing me to the world of online poetry performing and online shows. And this wouldn't be what it is without you. And again, Miss Lady Crucible, as always. Actually, I think Miss Lady is probably like a double. My grammar teacher's gonna be in the fucking comment section like, Dylan, don't you mean? Anyway, the Lady Crucible, as always, it is like I said, a blessing and a pleasure to have her grace the stage. And
Absolutely.
she is one of the most raw, visceral poets that I know, and it is fantastic to have her energy on here.
No, absolutely. And I just wanted to say too, both were incredible artists in their own right, incredibly powerful pieces as well. Queen's was definitely a little bit more self-empowering, for lack of a better term, whereas Lady Crucible's was diving more into the darker side of things a little bit. But pleasure to have them both. Love having them on, and I look forward to seeing more from both of them. And oh, go ahead, Bo.
I wanted to get your take. You've met Lady Crucible before, but you never even met Kween or seen any of her stuff. What was your kind of first reaction? What you were expecting?
Honest, to be completely honest, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, especially whenever we have not necessarily a new guest on, because they're not necessarily new to the show, but new to me. I don't usually come on with any sort of preassumptions or anything like that. So it's always great to be able to experience new artists firsthand and everything. And like I said, incredibly powerful pieces.
I touched on this a little bit, like when she was performing and after her pieces, but I wanted to get your take on it. What do you, first of all, actually, I guess this is a two-part question. What is your take and view on erotic poetry in general. And again, first of all, shout out my man Pakram for the second time on this episode. One of the best erotic poet writers I know. He's very good at writing it for some reason. I'll talk about this a little bit more why in a second, but I just wanted to get your take on, first of all, what is your take on erotic poetry? Is it good? Is it bad? Can it be both? Whatever it may be. And secondly, what did you think of the way she incorporated it into her pieces?
First of all, as far as erotica or however you put it, I've said it before and I'll say it a million times. Nothing is good or bad when it comes to writing and poetry and everything. And they are, personally, that's not necessarily something that I write, but that doesn't make it any less powerful, any less, that's the word I'm looking for, but any less true to what it is. Yeah, and I will fully admit there are some pieces or whatever, or books and stuff that I read or have read in the past that are they're good. They're very powerful and they're very much like what Lady Crucible does in her, as far as touching on like the darker side of things. A lot of people tend to be a little bit, I don't want to say scared, but it's one of those topics that not a whole lot of people are willing to touch on, let alone perform in something like this.
Exactly. And that's where I was going with my next thought, was that we have talked frequently about artists coming on here and talking about the things that no one else will talk about, that they're scared to talk about. And nobody really mentions that eroticism. And now there is, again, we have a disclaimer for this show for a reason. We have a trigger warning for a reason. There are some people who find that kind of thing hard to watch for various reasons. And so that is their reason for not delving into it or appreciating it. That being said, though, for a lot of the rest of us, it's just fucking awkward. It's just, if we feel like it's just awkward to talk about sex. And a lot of people in the audience probably even cringed when she said the word pussy, because words that are, for lack of a better word, graphic, or that,
I don't want to say vulgar, but
not vulgar, but adult, like, they get a bad rep as taboo. And I think that sex shouldn't be something that's taboo. We touched on this a little bit earlier.
None of us would be here without
what creates life. It is the magic, the beauty, the power of life that comes from sex. And this is a scientific fact. The highest chance of creating a baby, the highest chance of creating life, is if the two partners coincide sexually and are compatible sexually and both have a great time. A lot of people will argue that's love, right? They call it making love for a reason, because when you're doing that with another person, you're sharing a part of your soul with them. And then that's at least what I believe. A lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of people, a fuck is just a fuck. And that's okay too. There's no judgment on those people either.
But there is a big separation.
It shouldn't be taboo in any sense. I enjoy when an artist is brave enough and bold enough to incorporate it into their work and talk about something that a lot of people shy away from because it is taboo.
It's society and the way society makes it.
The other half of that, though, that I wanted to touch on is that it is very hard to write erotic poetry. You ever heard bad erotic poetry? It's the bad erotic poetry is the worst poetry you'll probably hear. But good erotic poetry is probably some in the top tier. Wow, that actually rhymed. It has such lows and such highs, and to be done well, it has to be done extremely well. And either the whole main focus of the piece, or what Kween does, where she sprinkles it in, she does it subtly and subtly, and that's what I love about it, is it's subtle but also in your face and breaking the taboo and breaking the societal norm of the words we're allowed to say and shit. Because she even in the message, right, she said, these are the names of my pieces if permitted. And because a lot of people would not permit a poem with even that title to be on a show like this because it would get demonetized or people may not like it or whatever the case may be.
That's the great thing about this show and this community is we are not only accepting or acceptable, but we encourage it almost. Not
Yeah.
necessarily encourage it, maybe that's not the right word, but this is absolutely a place where anybody and everybody can come and share those pieces, especially all those taboo topics, so to speak.
And we want people to be on here breaking the societal norms. We
Right.
want people to be on here not being another fucking brick in the wall. That is what this whole show is about. So yeah, I really love when an artist breaks those barriers, talks about those topics. And yeah, man, again, shout out to my man Pakram. He is probably one of the best I've ever heard do it. He definitely has some like spicy, actually, for lack of a better word, kinky poems. But they're really fucking good poems, man. Really good fucking poems. He's a fantastic writer, and I'm working on getting him on very shortly.
Nice.
But again, shout out to Kween, shout out to Lady Crucible for being on the show. Thank you guys so much for being here, for supporting us. Literally, Lost Boy couldn't do it without his Lost Boys, and that goes for you too, Brendan. Thank you, and for everything everyone has done to support me and my vision and my journey. And I hope that I am giving you guys at least half of what you have given me. That is really the goal here. When I talk about a circle, it's not just a circle of people, it's a circle of energy and a circle of support. When you guys give your support to me and help me build something, that in turn just makes me want to support you guys. And that's where we came up with the whole idea for What's Poppin'. So with that being said, go check out our What's Poppin' every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern to get updated on everything that's going on in our community, everything that's going on with the show, and also a few honorable mentions from things that are going on in the greater artistic world, like bands and movies and things like that. But you can check this show out, Lost Boys Cypher Circle, every other Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and then Lost Boys Cypher Circle, What's Poppin', every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Be sure to go follow us, like, subscribe, whatever other else is to do on those platforms on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Facebook. For some reason, I don't have Instagram up on the screen right now, but also go check us out on Instagram. You will find extra clips on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and full-length episodes on YouTube and Spotify. What's Poppin' right now is exclusive to YouTube. Let me know if you guys want it on Spotify as well, and I can probably get that in for you guys. And please don't forget to comment. Every comment, it really does help. It shows YouTube that people like what we're doing, so it wants to show it to more people. And the more people that see this, the more people that join our community, the better. Because again, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, is build a community. So make sure you go like it, subscribe it, and share it with all your friends, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your cat, your dog, your lizard, your snake. Go share it with all those people. And if you are an artist who would like to share some work and come on the show, you can contact either me, Dylan Lawler, on Facebook and TikTok at Dylan Lawler/Lostboy, or email me at lostboy420x@gmail.com. That's lostboy420x@gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and let you plug yours.
Or you can contact me as well. I'm on Facebook at Brendan Lawler. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram at Carnum95. Or if you want to email and go that route, you can message me at soulreaper95@gmail.com. That's SOULR3APER95@gmail.com.
Hell yeah. And if you want to donate to us at all, anything from 10 cents to $10 helps. You can mail us some pocket lint if you want. Any contribution helps. But we got some Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. They're all the same cash tag, LostBoy420X. So like I said, anything helps. We appreciate it. And with that being said, please make sure you catch us next time on Lost Boys Cypher Circle. And that'll be it for tonight, guys. Have a good one.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Been a pleasure and a blessing.
Absolutely.
Float water, sting like bee,
Like these,
merman. What's up?
Bruce.